Good morning. My name is Prasanna Arikala. I'm CTO and Head of Products for Kore.ai. I've been with Kore from the beginning. I'm the founding member based out of India, leading the R&D and innovation out there. So it's such a great pleasure to see such a big team. From last year to this year, it has doubled the size of people whom we see in this room. So thank you. Thank you for coming from all over the globe to be here. So to begin with, I just wanted to thank you all for all the customers and partners who have given us the great feedback and challenges to push the boundaries in terms of our product innovation roadmap and to be part of our growth story. So first of all, thank you. A big round of applause for each of you. So today I want to share the progress that we have made for the past 1 year in terms of R&D innovation, and also give you a glimpse into our future roadmap. So we started our journey back in 2013. Now it's been 10 years with version 1.0 of XO released on 2016. Now, today we are launching version 11. So we have come a long way in terms of hardening the platform, to be ready for enterprise scale. So that wouldn't be possible without, a strong R&D team. So we have a 600 plus strong R&D team based out of India and US. And on top of that, a big participation from 60,000 plus creators signed up on our platform and been building virtual agents for these many years. That actually had been a significant contribution for us. We have 25 plus patents filed, close to, I think, about 11 awarded in this space, specifically on AI and conversational AI. So we have 3,500 creators actively logging in and building bots on our platform every month. Our production scale deployments are all over the globe, deployed across multiple clouds, multiple regions. So we have one of the largest voice deployments on the planet in terms of conversational AI automation. And also, we have one of the largest digital deployment on the planet, powered by our platform, of course. So Raj talked about previously in his keynote about how we are helping enterprises to deploy AI in various different use cases, all the way from CX use cases, employee EX use cases, or agent experience use cases, or even application experience use cases. Now, last 1 year, we have been spending a lot of time investing a lot of time in terms of R&D and innovation to get into the search experiences as well as generative AI experiences for use cases other than conversational AI. So the Gale platform that we are introducing today is going to do that. So Raj mentioned who cares about the product. It's all about use cases. Trust me. It's crucial to recognize that a meticulously crafted product architecture, and which is engineered by skilled professionals, is equally important. So this is our backbone. This architecture is our backbone of our platform. So today I'll go deep dive into some of those components and give you a glimpse on what we have done and what we are, what we are doing as we make progress. So there's a lot to cover. So there are so many breakout sessions that have been designed to have your detailed walkthrough of this. So please do attend those. All right, so our XO11, we just released it now, it is available. So one of the key things that we have done in XO11 is to work with our customers and partners and learned a lot in terms of what is working, what is not working. We incorporated all of that feedback and improved a lot in terms of the creator experience during the bot building, whether it is intuitive, new, more colorful dialogue builder, or a more collaborative dialogue builder. So previously, we had one of those big feedback is that the teams that are building conversational AI experience, they would first start with lucid chats, collaborate with conversational design experts, business teams and all that, and then they bring it back into dialogue builder, and then we would then, the developers would then go and do integrations and all of that. Now we try to bridge that gap with this new experience. So you have ability to have much more cohesive dialogues that you can create that business users can easily understand. And also you can even have collaborative annotations, et cetera, in the dialogue editor itself. So it is a one single interface for all our products now. So whether it is starting from the omnichannel all the way to human agent automation, automation and then a human agent experience. So it is one single product. So you can see all the modules out there. You can switch to modules easily from one product module to another product module. And we've also now enhanced our analytics and insights that go across this, so you can actually fully represent the journeys, end-to-end journeys of the customer all the way from omnichannel to automation to a human agent. So on the NLU side, obviously with generative AI last year, we have made a release where we have incorporated a few-shot model and zero-shot model to improve the ability to simplify the NLU training and all that. But then, the problem of throwing a huge LLM at a small conversational AI use case, it's for kind of being an overkill, has actually made us think, why not we build small language models that are specifically fine-tuned for conversational AI domain and contact center AI domain. So we went on to build XOGPT models, which are essentially LLM models or SLM models that are designed and fine-tuned specifically to improve input understanding in a conversational user experience, or even while generating a response to make it more contextualized to the conversation. So we've also incorporated intelligent orchestration within the platform, so you can actually, it is sort of, while we give our own XOGPT models, LLM models, we are model agnostic. So you can put the best model to use, whether it is at an overall bot level or at a step in a workflow of a conversation. So at every step of the way, we made sure you can actually connect to any of the commercial or community models, but also you can bring your own models if required. Alternatively, of course, you can use XOGPT models. So centrally, what we have done is that while you use these models for various different purposes across the platform, centrally we have applied monitoring and guardrails. So you could actually review all the outcomes that come from LLM in terms of whether it is accuracy, whether it is cohesiveness, whether it is factual correctness, whether it is toxicity, bias, all of that. And then you could even listen to those events if there is a sort of a drift in that, you could actually add handlers to those events while you are monitoring it. And then you can have your own custom logic, how to handle it and all that. For your business rules, you can do that. Obviously, bring your own models is one of the key things that we have always ensured. I mean, extensibility for us, being an open platform is very, very key. So we always adhere to that as a philosophy. But now, build your own models is something that we focused on. So while building all these XGPT models, whatever the tooling that we believe that that is needed for an enterprise to go and do that, we build that as a product. And now using Gale product and its modules, you can build your model and bring it into Exo platform. So part of our contact center modules, we have incorporated the real-time agent coaching, agent playbooks, proactive engagement. All of these capabilities are powered by LLMs. Now, putting LLMs to work at enterprise scale, obviously we talked about why large language models can be an overkill for the kind of use cases that we are working on. We are not trying to solve all the generative AI use cases, focused on from a conversational and contact center domain first. So we built the XGPT models. So to balance this whole Goldilocks phenomena about balancing out accuracy, latency, and cost, what we have done is we have come up with 3 different XGPT models to begin with. So the first one is the input paraphrasing model. So it takes a conversational context on the current customer input and then rephrases that input into a more expandable format. So now with this input rephrasing model, input paraphrasing model, you can actually make your bot understand the contextual input processing much robust manner. There's so many little nuances that happens in conversation flows in terms of somebody referencing entities from previous inputs and so on and so forth. All of that can be handled much easily with input paraphrasing model. And also in addition to that, contextual inputs. For example, you have contextual subintents, et cetera. You had to provide additional training in the previous version of the platform. Now with this model, that can get handled easily, out of the box, because now the input gets expanded to the full context. So another model that we worked on is a response paraphrasing model. So the most important element to make conversational AI experience more human-like is that you adapt to the context of the conversation, to the sentiment of the user, acknowledge what the user is saying, then it becomes more human-like. And what we have done with this model is kind of handle such various different categories, about close to 25 plus categories. In fact, our team can share a full write-up on what are the different categories that this model can handle. So we've kind of expanded it to all those 20 plus categories and then created our own human annotated data and AI synthetic data, and then build these models to make it work. And obviously, latency is one of the key elements. So we have chosen a base model to be a 7 billion model, which obviously is much better than latency in terms of latency, a trillion parameters model. But we've also done optimizations on it in terms of deploying the model. So we are now getting sub-second latency on this. And another important feature of this model is that previously, if the query comes in and the answer for that query is within the context of a previous conversation, you have to have explicitly thought about it and then incorporated into your dialog flow. Now you don't have to do that. So this model will automatically take care of if somebody says, can you repeat what was my balance? So it can just read from your previous transcript and read it out to the customer. And most importantly, both the models are fine-tuned to answer only in the context. So it doesn't go out of the context or hallucinate or anything. So they have been tuned for answering only within the context. If it doesn't have an answer in the context, they are trained to not answer. It's another model that we worked on the contact center AI side is the conversation summarization model. So all the important details of a customer to a human agent or a customer to a virtual agent We have designed this model to kind of take care of all those important details and then, incorporate that into the summarization. So we have done production deployments in various use cases already of these models, including ITSM, service desk, as well as healthcare customer care. So with all those experiences, we kind of made the model to be more and more robust. And obviously, as we make progress working with you, we can improve these models much better. We are not trying to solve all the problems of generative AI, to be honest. So we are focusing on all the use cases that we are, our tools or products are being used for. So in that sense, our capability in this is sort of very, very focused, and we were able to get the outcomes that what we need. So just to make sure we give the trust in terms of using these models, is that we have done a comprehensive benchmarking with 20+ categories in terms of model evaluation, 20+ category as parameters for model evaluation. That includes, whether the model is adhering to the given context, is it responding with any, or is it responding anything different for a toxic input, or is it adhering to factual in-context learning that it is doing. All of those categories, we can share that white paper as well with you to get sense of, what are those categories that we are, covering, so that you get comfortable with using this model. And then what we've also done is we have done a benchmarking with the state-of-the-art model, GPT-4, the same input outcome from our models and the GPT-4 models, and then, put the evaluation done by another LLM. We use, in this case, Judge LLM. So to do the, evaluation of 5 out of, whatever the score out of 5 for GPT model versus score out of 5 for our model output. And then pretty much they perform a similar level. And obviously, like I said, we're only focusing on smallest possible element of it, so that's why the accuracies are that good. And in terms of, obviously, the response times, you do know that, the large models can get at times, whether it is because of the model size parameters or because of not enough available throughput. So the response times can vary, so you can't confidently deploy it to a real-time use cases. So our objective was to ensure that we deploy these models for real-time use cases. And with the provision, because we are provisioning these models, we are hosting these models within our infrastructure, we were able to get that provisioned throughput to get a consistent latency of sub-second. So then, okay, so what's next on this? So while these models help solve some of the problems today, we are still, there's quite a few things that you need to take care in making sure the body you are building is robust enough for all the different conversational variances. For example, there could be untrained inputs. Somebody on a voice call can say, oh, can you repeat it? Oh, you know what, I'm finding my account number, just hold on a minute, things like that. All of these variations now is left to a conversation design team's imagination and the NLU training team's imagination in terms of coverage. So we all know that that problem is already been solved with LLM, so why not, we bring that in. But at the same time, we cannot put the LLM directly because, it doesn't have the knowledge of your business or the business rules or doesn't have access to the data that you own. So all of these nuances can be handled by LLM if we build a model that is tuned specifically for these purposes and take your business rules and business data into the context and react to it. So that's what we are working on. That's the Dialog GPT. It's a model and an engine that we are building. Probably will come out in quarter or maybe GA the following quarter. This is designed to handle complex things such as hierarchical input handling. That's one of the common complaints that we receive, that okay, fine, all of this is fine, few-shot model is fine, but most of the use cases in the enterprise world are hierarchical. So like somebody saying, view credit card, or increase credit card limits versus what is my credit card limit. So these are completely different. Or view cash deposit withdrawal limit. Or a card. It's like now you talk about the variations of it. The hierarchy is different. The synonyms are different. You can have semantic variations in terms of spelling errors, the way the people phrase it, all of that. To take care of all of it today, people do using our entity models, and within a dialogue, they create a flow, all of that. So this model is trying to handle that. This model is going to simplify handling those system intents or common intents that I talked about in terms of repeat, hold, and things like that. And uses the enterprise business as a knowledge graph, gives that to the LLM to make the LLM react to that input within the context of that knowledge graph of the enterprise. So for the past year, we have been working on our Search AI product. We have now done close to 25 plus production deployments with our Search AI. So one thing that we realized is for RAG use cases, just indexing the document and giving it to LLM to generate an answer is not good enough. You need a lot of tooling to connect your enterprise sources. Your information is there somewhere on a SharePoint. It is protected by some authentication which is very custom to you, but still you can't do anything about it. It needs to go crawl all the pages, identify the links and all that. So there's a lot of complexities that goes on in terms of connecting to enterprise sources. Now when you connect to those sources, extracting the relevant information, there are like different types of formatting, complex layouts, etc. So now you need to be able to extract that with the context being preserved. So you can't just extract test as is, but you need to know where the context is, and then you need to preserve the context so that when the input comes in, you read the context and then find the appropriate chunks that is needed, right? So, and then similarly, the chunk sizes, like the context size that you send it to an LLM. What should be the size that is more appropriate to generate a quality answer? How do you get visibility into it in terms of, for a given query, how the whole configuration is working? So the whole explainability of it. And then once you put it to deployment, how do you monitor it? How do you tune it? So there's a lot of complexity around it. So RAG is good. It opens up a lot of opportunities for us to tap into the knowledge base that's not tapped into. But you still need a lot of tooling to make it work. And that's what we did with Search AI. So what's our roadmap? So obviously, we are working on multilingual capabilities for ExoGPT. And then one of the common asks has been that, okay, for RAG answer generation, today we only support, obviously, the GPT models or commercial models like Anthropic Claude or OpenAI GPT models. But why not have ExoGPT model for it, a hosted version of it? So because many of the enterprise compliance needs doesn't allow to use a commercial model. So we are building one of those models for answer generation as well, in context answering, with 16K context window, just to be clear on that for now. And we know I talked about the dialogue GPT, so that it improves the orchestration capabilities that is powered by generative AI. We are also enhancing all our solutions, the pre-built solutions, that whether it is retail assist or bank assist or IT assist, HR assist, to be powered by ExoGPT models and the LLMs. On the autonomous AI agent side, we have been doing some work. So part of AVA, we started off our journey last year in terms of a data AI agent, where the AI agent understands the API definition through a configuration. And based on customer input, knows based on customer context. Once the input is understood, it knows which API to call. If there is multiple APIs involved, it knows to orchestrate among those multiple APIs, knows how to send the parameters to that API, it knows how to interpret the response from the API, and then also generates the answer that is contextual to the input. So that's our data AI agent framework that we have been building. That's part of our AVA right now, and then in the future, it will become part of our platform as a standalone capability as well. On the other side, so there's a moonshot project that we are working on in terms of employing autonomous AI agents to build a bot. So, but that's future. I don't want to talk about it much on that, but that's something that we are ambitiously working on. And we are releasing AVA in a couple of, this quarter sometime. Now it is available for early access. And then working with feedback from some of the customers, then we'll improve it and then make it better before we make it GA. So there's some workshops and breakouts that are planned. We made a lot of progress on the contact center AI as well. So whether it is the voice gateway capabilities or the agent AI capabilities, or even there is a progress being made now as we speak for quality management modules as well. Please do attend these. So AVA, in brief, it's ChatGPT for every employee within an enterprise. So the most important capability of AVA is that AVA understands the context of the user, of the employee within an enterprise, who the user is, what access controls, what roles that he has, what knowledge bases he has access to, all of that is understood and who the user is interacting with it. So uses that information to better understand the user query, as well as make those API calls or interact with your enterprise systems to get the right answer. Most importantly, while it does come with a lot of pre-built SaaS-based connectors and all of that, knowledge-based connectors powered by such AI, it does allow you to extend and customize it for your enterprise. So you could build your own agents that you can plug into AVA. So that's the most important capability of it. That agent can be built either using our EXO platform or using Search AI. And AVA also has some creator capabilities in terms of lightweight GPT agents using a no-code tooling. So you can also create some small tool kind of, utility kind of GPT agents and then plug that into AVA. Raj talked about the challenges in terms of deploying AI safely within an enterprise. Our journey with ExoGPT models is also, we learned a lot in terms of what are the tools that you need, how do we make it enterprise ready, because for us, we always think the compliance, governance, scalability, the enterprise readiness as our foundation. So we start with that. How do we make it work for that? And so for us to do that for ExoGPT models, whatever the tooling we believe we said, okay, is needed, we then last year we conceptualized that as a Gale platform. And then now we are announcing Gale. So Gale is a platform, an end-to-end platform for you to handle all your generative AI ops and generative AI solution use cases that you can build using the application builder tool that we have within Gale. So it starts with your data at the bottom. You bring in the data to Gale. To fine-tune your models, you can actually process the data. We are adding tools in terms of data processing, whether it is cleansing pipelines or enrichment pipelines and all that. That's going to be part of Gale. Right now, it does have some connectors that are coming in. So connectors are basically API nodes that are there within the flows. You can bring or connect to enterprise systems. You can fine-tune the models using the fine-tuning tooling that we have. And it's all completely, one-click fine-tuning. You select the data set and then say, choose the algorithm, click a button. It automatically provisions the infrastructure required based on the size of the data that you are fine-tuning, size of the model that you are fine-tuning with, and then, provisions that, and then once the training is done. And of course, we also take care of distributed training so that, the training process can get faster. And then once that is done, those servers are, unprovisioned, rather dismantled, so you don't get to consume the cost. But then once your fine-tuning is done, you want to build an application on top of it. So you want to do a prompt engineering. So prompt engineering, comparing that prompt engineering on your fine-tuned model, how do you evaluate it? Most likely you would evaluate it with another commercial model that's out there. So there is a prompt engineering studio that helps you craft your prompts, evaluate your model performance against other models, state-of-the-art models like GPT-4 and all that. You can get a subjective score. You can use another model to actually evaluate the performance of it. Obviously, in a generative AI scenario, there is no binary. It's not like something is accurate or not accurate, right? So it is very, very subjective. And the subjectiveness is essentially monitored using various different other parameters like cohesiveness, completeness, and things like that. So we allow you to use another model like a judge LLM to evaluate the outcomes of your prompt, and then you can iterate over it and then make it better and better and deploy it. So once you start deploying it, obviously you need to integrate with your enterprise applications, APIs, and so on. So Gale has the no-code tooling similar to the XO platform bot builder dialog editor tool. So it has a no-code flow editor with a lot of these nodes that you see in the bot builder. Similar to that, it has all those nodes. You can actually chain the prompts, give a prompt, give an input, send it to an LLM, whether it is fine-tuned or commercial, and then take that output of it, pass it on to the next step. There, you kind of work with the data outcome, and then send it back to another LLM or the same LLM to process it in a step-by-step. Because in generative AI scenarios, the only way you could actually get accuracy is, obviously, you need to use in-context learning. You need to pass enough context to the LLM for it to generate the most appropriate response. But you also need to break it down the task into a much smaller tasks and then chain them up. So that's what a lot of these, there are like number of studies over there, research papers published to show the benchmarks in terms of how a chain of thought or breaking a problem into multiple steps would improve generating those outcomes. So we provide all the tooling that is necessary for you to do that. And every step of the way, of course, as usual, we take care of monitoring the inputs, PII, anonymization, sending it to LLM, evaluating the outcome for all the guardrails that have been configured, and then also recording all the outcomes and generate the insights and elevate those insights so that when you deploy, let's say, an application that reviews your customer service emails and somehow generates insights off of it and creates a draft response for your human agent to kind of generate it, or creates or routes it to a right agent or something like that. Now that is running on a daily basis on thousands of emails, hundreds of thousands of emails. So you don't want to look at every possible step and say, okay, whether a particular prompt at that point in time worked correctly or not. So we kind of aggregate all of that, generates insights to let you focus on what is more important, and then dive into more detail and kind of make changes if needed to make it work. And obviously, similar to our tooling within our platform, we do support when you make changes to the flows or data changes. We allow you to do regression testing or regression evaluation in this case, because it's not testing anymore. So it's evaluation. So all of the tooling is available for you to kind of do it on an ongoing basis. While we do all of that, like bringing your data, building your model, crafting your prompts, integrating with your APIs, evaluating your outputs, while you're doing all of that, you build apps at scale. We take care of all the bells and whistles that you need to put it, safely to deploy it at scale. So that's all covered as part of our platform services within Gale. So the models that are built on Gale are you can build the solution use cases on the top, but you can also make these models accessible within our such a product or our XO platform. So for a specific step in an XO platform within a dialogue, you want that model to be used, so it is tightly integrated, deeply integrated to that, and then you can just select the model, and then the output is retrieved from Gale. So get like an integrated experience between Gale and all our other products. Now, so our next roadmap on this is, obviously working with you, taking your feedback, because we are launching Gale in beta now. And I can say it's GA, but still I want to, marketing team said say beta, so fine. So I'll keep it beta for now. But the objective is to selectively work with you, with some of the customers, the early customers that we want to bring into the platform, take feedback, provide the necessary enablement in terms of how to use it, best practices, work with you to get your use cases built and show you the outcomes that, because everybody is trying to figure out the use cases. Everybody is trying to figure out the right way to do it. So our objective is to help you with that journey for the next month or so. And then in this process, with the speed at which we iterate, so we're going to make the product better and better, and then roll out GA sometime end of May. And from a roadmap point of view, though, we have already worked with many customers and many different use cases. We actually see a repeatable pattern in terms of the types of use cases that are coming out for Gale. So we now have ideas in terms of building pre-built solutions similar to how we build pre-built solutions on XO platform, like the bank assist, IT assist, and all that. So we now have a vision to go build pre-built generative AI solutions beyond conversational AI use cases, make them available as solutions on top of Gale. So that's part of our roadmap that we're working on in the next few quarters. So these are some of the use cases that we have been working with our customers. So research, obviously, when you look at a large volumes of data, generating insights off of it to help you, either get insight into your target customer profiling, or coming up with product ideas, or getting insights into how the customers are talking about your products, or how the community is talking about your customer service per se. All of that actually, those use cases are now feasible. And documents at scale, so basically taking volumes of, whether it is emails, transcripts, analyzing them, extracting information off of it, in a multiple steps, of course. And then also even generating summaries that are required, like I was talking about the summarization transcript. Summarization has been a very popular use case, of course. So that's another big area. Content generation, of course. So we recently actually worked in a scenario where we've kind of taken a product catalog and customer reviews on the product, and then created a workflow that integrates with multiple APIs to connect to various data sources, and finally generate a customized or rather personalized page for that product that can be put onto a website. So because Gale exposes this entire agentic workflow as an API, you can plug that in into your existing content management or marketing system that's out there, and then click of a button, it goes and finds or generates the pieces of content that you need to put it on your marketing page. So that's one of those use cases that we worked on. Process at scale, I think this is, there's a lot of interest in this. We have seen cases where customer service process on customer service emails, where there was one use case that we deployed back in January, where on a daily basis we are processing thousands of customer service emails, generating insights off of it, and then properly categorizing them, and then routing it to the right agent, or even to an extent creating a draft response for an agent to send it out. So yeah, everybody is still learning on this. There is a scope for a lot of use cases. We built the platform with that in mind, that it scales for any type of use case, and with all the things that are needed for an enterprise to deploy it safely at scale. So we look forward to working with you, to have you on board with our XO11 as well as Gale platform, and then look forward to a feedback and then improve our products. So thank you.